Okay guys, so I've made a lot of money with social media marketing. All right, I built my own agency that got past 7 figures, and I want to walk you through today why I'm really bullish on UpWork as a way to get clients for your business. Now, UpWork is going to work whether you do social media management, content creation, or anything else, Facebook ads, email marketing. All right, I'm going to walk you through today why I'm so bullish on this. And to be honest, I think it's probably the lowest barrier to entry way, but also proven way of getting clients. We're going to talk through how, look, businesses you find on UpWork are very close to becoming a client. They're already on a platform saying, hey, I want help with this thing, and I've actually dedicated a certain budget to this thing. Cold outreach, as much as I love it, puts you in this kind of utter blurry category where you're dealing with business owners where some of them might be ready to pay, some of them might actually need what you offer, but most of them don't need what you offer, don't want your help, have it sorted already, or don't want to spend any money on this. Hence, you're wasting a lot of time with that. Now, look, a lot of people overlook UpWork. In fact, when I was running my agency and I first started, I overlooked UpWork. I didn't think that it would actually be a platform where I could get clients. You see, because I use UpWork to hire freelancers. I would hire graphic designers, video editors, virtual assistants on UpWork. Typically, lower cost. They were typically from Pakistan, Philippines, lower cost countries. So that was my understanding of UpWork, is it's people that charge less money. It doesn't mean they provide a bad job. In fact, I found really incredible, talented people on UpWork, but I had this preconceived idea that I can't use it to get clients, right? However, there are clients on UpWork, businesses in the US, in Ireland, in the UK, right? In countries where they have a lot of money and budgets are a lot higher, where they are spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per month. Okay, if you look through any of the interviews and proof I've put out on my YouTube channel of people I've worked with in my mentorship, you will see that. You will see many of them mention UpWork. You will see many of them making 5, 10, 20,000 per month. You'll see many of them talk about how they've signed clients on UpWork for 1,000, 2,000 per month. So I want to break that belief for you now, because if someone broke that belief for me back when I started my agency, where I scaled fast, I think I would have scaled even faster. We went from our first client to having 10 clients in 45 days. So basically from zero to a 10K a month business, a 6-figure business in a month and a half, right? And that was with cold outreach. So I know cold outreach and I can do it incredibly well. But if I had UpWork back when I started, I think that would have been dangerous. I think we would have scaled way too fast. So I've got 5 points and I've got my notes here just to make sure I'm on track that I'm going to walk you through today. Okay, so number 1 is we're going to walk through the AIDA model. Okay, so we're going to walk you through how we use the AIDA model to stand out and close deals. Number 2, I'm going to walk you through how you can basically use UpWork and figure out who's serious, who's not. Basically avoid the tire kickers and avoid the low paying clients on UpWork. I'll show you how to do that. Number 3, I'm going to walk you through how the low barrier to entry with UpWork, where anybody can sign up to it, is actually a really good thing. Okay, it's a really good thing. And I'm going to show you how exactly you can use that to your advantage to get clients. And finally, I'm going to walk you through how you can get inbound leads, inbound clients with UpWork. Okay, because once you have a profile set up and you have optimized things and you have got some clients through the platform and you have some proof, yes, you can optimize that to have clients come to you, which who doesn't want that? All right, so point number 1, using the AIDA model to get clients. Here's how it works, okay? So the AIDA model, all right? Awareness, interest, desire, action. This is a model that sums up, look, in the marketplace, okay, think of all the business owners that you want to potentially work with. They're all somewhere on that spectrum, okay? When it comes to marketing, let's say social media marketing specifically, they're either aware, interested, they have a desire for it, or they're ready to take action on it. It's as simple as that. So a lot of business owners, when you're doing cold outreach, are spread, okay? Some are here where they're ready to take action and they want your help. Some are all the way here and they're not really even aware that they should be looking into social media marketing. So that's a big issue with cold outreach. UpWork, which is why this is one of the key reasons why it works so well, pretty much everybody who's on the platform is at action. You'll find the odd business owner who's at desire. Okay, so they haven't really committed a budget to this yet. They know they want to do it, but they don't know if they're going to do it right now or next month, right? But 80-90% are there at action. They are ready to pay for this. Okay, because think about it. You've literally got a place, UpWork, where there's jobs posted every single day and there's hundreds posted every single day. And the posts are them saying, hey, we're this business. We need help with this. We want somebody long term. This is our budget. All right, so you've got the very, very clear picture. They want your help. This is why inside my program, we have had people within 2 weeks, 3 weeks of starting, get clients on Upwork. Okay, because it's just so direct. You're skipping all of the kind of sales process of taking somebody from aware to wanting to buy from you. They're already there. You just got to position you as the right fit. Okay, point number 2 is that, look, you can quite easily filter out the crap on Upwork. Okay, before you message a company, you will see their job post. So you see a written breakdown of their business and what they want. With cold outreach, it's obviously a bit of a guessing game. Okay, we can see their profile, let's say on Instagram, but we don't really know what they're doing. You know, we don't know what their intention is again, right? Where Upwork, we have that clarity. So obviously some of those job posts that are on Upwork are going to be terrible. All right, you can just see from when you scan through it, this is somebody that's not serious. They've not given me enough info. They've not mentioned any kind of time length that we're going to work together or a budget. So it's very easy to just filter out the jobs that are actually worth applying to. So when you're doing Upwork, we have cases where somebody in our program is sending 1 or 2 proposals a day. That's it. And they're getting 1 or 2 clients a month. When you do those numbers, right? Let's say they do 1 a day, 30 in a month, and that might bring them 1 or 2 clients. That's phenomenal. Like, that is absolutely phenomenal. Of course, with something like cold outreach, you can't send 30 messages and get 1 or 2 clients. If you do, you're a genius. Okay, that's just not how it works. You might send hundreds of messages to get 1 client. Point 3, I mentioned that this low barrier to entry with Upwork is actually a good thing. So I'll walk you through an example. When I post jobs on Upwork, because I still use Upwork, you know, I'll hire people. I paid this guy to fix some code on my website a few months back, right? And when I post up jobs like that, I typically get about 20 or so people that will apply to the job. Now, at least 10 of them I can discard immediately because they are absolute time wasters. As in, it's automated. So the second I've posted the job, 2 or 3 people have responded. So it's 100% automated. Number 2, they're just using ChatGPT to give me the most generic, hello, sir, I am Adam. I can do this service. It's just generic. I see it and I just, I don't even look at it. I'm just like, that's terrible. I'm not going to entertain that. So I'm really only left with about 10 that are actually serious, like real. The person has seen the job, they've read the job, and they've actually written something to apply to the position. Now, out of that, I'm obviously going to have my preconceived idea of who I want to work with. For example, if a business owner is based in, let's say, an English-speaking country, let's say Ireland, the UK, or let's take the US. In that case, they are most likely, 80% of the times, going to want to work with somebody who is also a native English speaker, okay? Or an English speaker fluently, okay? That's just the reality. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. It's just the reality. So out of that 10, there might only be 4 or 5 that are actually fitting that criteria. So again, you've got your pool is shrinking once again. And so out of that 4 or 5, you're also going to have a lot of people that will charge way more money. Okay, so you're going to have people that have been on the platform for 2 or 3 years. You click on their profile, it says they've made €100,000 on the profile, and you might think that's good, and you think that might give them an advantage. For me, hiring, that's the worst thing I can see. The second I see that they've made 100K through the platform, I think they're way too busy. I'm not going to be their top priority. I need to go with somebody who's newer, who might have no money earned on the platform, or a couple of hundred who actually will put a lot of focus on me. Because if someone's made 100K through that platform, they're not necessarily going to need you. And if they don't need you, they may not put in as much work. So all in all, we find it's actually quite simple to distinguish yourself and to position yourself as the right fit, even though there's a low barrier to entry. And finally, as I mentioned, you can actually get inbound leads. Okay, so we've seen this happen with people on Upwork where they've had a few clients. Okay, there's no set number. We've had people where they've had 2 clients and they've made $500 or $1,000 through the platform, and they get inbound leads. Okay, that's obviously going to be based on, yes, their performance, if they've got a good success rate on the platform, a good a job success rate, right? If that's marked well, if they got some feedback from the clients and they got top rated, that's going to help. But of course, it's also going to depend on how their profile looks. Does it actually look good and professional? Have they added some good keywords as to what kind of roles that they can fill? Marketing, digital marketing, social media marketing, etc. That's all going to help. Now, you can't expect to set up an Upwork profile tomorrow and get inbound clients. That's most likely not going to happen. It can happen, but it's quite rare. What's more common is you get a couple of clients through the platform, you get some money earned on the platform. Again, not too much, but enough to give you a bit of that proof, and you've had a couple of clients with some good feedback, then yeah, it's very possible that you will get invited to jobs, which, to be honest, you're not going to get that with cold outreach. So again, I love cold outreach, but this is why I am so bullish on UpWork. I didn't want to be bullish on UpWork. As I said, my preconceived idea of UpWork was I pay for freelancers, I get people from third world countries, and I pay low amounts of money. The reality is I've been proven wrong so many times where people within our program are using it that way. So we have a whole UpWork dedicated section within our program because this is something we realized over a year ago now we need to teach. We need to be on top of, and we need to know this inside and out. Hence why we have a full training program within our mentorship specifically about UpWork, and why now it's one of the biggest drivers of client acquisition for people we work with. So guys, my advice to you is don't just watch this video and set up your UpWork profile today and start spamming out job posts. Okay, please listen to everything we went through today. You do need to put time into this. It's not going to just work right away. And I don't want you to try it in the wrong way and then in 2 weeks from now say UpWork doesn't work. Because it works. It bloody works. It works really well. If you would want any info about working with me, okay, to understand this more and work one-on-one, where we can review everything you're doing on the platform and really make sure it does work, then you will see information on how to do that in the description of this video. You'll see my Instagram if you want to click that and reach out to me in chat. You'll also see a link to get more information about the program I run and kind of next steps. All right, hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video.